10,000 meters. He's the first American man to win a medal in both events. Grant Fisher of the United States, the silver medalist with a time of 13:15.04, the first medal for Kenya since 2012 in this event, Ronald Kwemoi, and the gold medalist with a time of 13:13.66, Norway's first gold in this event. He won the gold in the 1500 in Tokyo, Jakob Ingebrigtsen. We now will open the floor for questions. If you have a question for any of the medalists in the 5,000 meters, please raise your hand and we'll bring the mic to you. Right here.
Question for Jakob. Congrats on the gold. I'm wondering how becoming a dad has changed you, both as an athlete and as a person.
Thank you. That's a good question. I haven't been home that much, but it's definitely a new experience and a new thing to go through in life. But I've had the chance to meet them a couple times, both in the village and on the outside. And Elisabeth and Filippa was also in the stands tonight. So it's definitely something special. But how it affects me, that's a good question.
Pat?
Hey Jakob, how you doing? Pat Graham, Associated Press. The mark of an athlete is being able to rebound from an event or from a race or whatever, and you put the 1500 behind you and did what you did tonight. How were you able to compartmentalize that race and not let it bleed into this race and just and do your thing?
I think it's definitely something that's very difficult to handle as a professional athlete, but still it's something that everybody goes through at some point. And having a good team around you with people that supports you and can help you, go through things like that is extremely beneficial and definitely a big thing for me to be able to perform tonight and especially be as prepared as I was. So but it's definitely something that's difficult for everybody, but still it's a very big part of doing sports.
Jonathan?
Jonathan Golt, Let'sRun.com. Question for Jakob. Congratulations on the gold medal. After the 1500 final, Jared Nguse's coach, he mentioned in an interview to us that he might have been willing to push the pace earlier in the race if you hadn't. And I'm wondering, have you considered do you think moving forward you might consider changing your tactics in the 1500 and championship finals?
I think good tactics and bad tactics can always have different outcomes. If you do something well, I think it's considered a good tactic. And if you don't do something well, it's considered the opposite. So it's definitely it comes down to the execution of whoever is doing anything. So of course it's about grabbing the opportunity when it's given to you, but still that opportunity can always be lost at some point, or you can perform and ruin your chances. And you can also do that in the back of the field. So I'm a believer of winning in a way that's honorable, and reaching the finish line first is always the main goal. But still, I'm a big fan of proving myself, not to anybody necessarily, but also to myself, that I'm rewarded for the work that I'm putting in, and sometimes that's doing something a certain way. I'm not saying I'm doing it all the time, but still it's about performing as good as you can in the circumstances and how they are. So I'm just going to continue getting better and work hard towards winning as much as I can.
Ronald, you were a 1,500 meter specialist for so long, and now you've made the move to the 5,000. Can you talk about that transition and why you made that jump?
I think for me, I'm the 1500 runner, but I ran 1500 for a long time. Like I am in 2016, I'm in the Olympics, and I decided before I decided 2020 to run 5000 because I have injury for a long time. I have injury for 2017. I have stress fracture, and then 2020 I have hamstring injuries for 3 years, and then I just make decision to move to 5000.
Grant, you're the first American man to win a medal in the 5,000 and the 10,000 in the same games. What have these last 8 days been like for you? How'd you prepare?
Yeah, they've been pretty hectic, very memorable. The 10K was my first ever medal, World Championship or Olympic, and it's a big stage, and it's a stage that I've been at before, but I haven't been able to perform well enough to actually get a medal. And after the 10K, it was a lot of excitement, but also a lot of relief, just to get that first one. And then I treated the 5K as a separate meet in my head, and wanted to come back and do my best. At that point, everything was going to be extra. I had accomplished a big goal of mine, which was medaling, and I wanted to get another one. And it feels great. I went from 0 medals and really hoping for one and wanting one to having 2 in my pocket. So it feels really good and really, really validating on some of the work I've been doing lately. So yeah, it feels great. Also, I'm sorry for being late. I was in drug testing. Yeah. I was the first one here, and then they sent me to drug testing, and then I got yelled at drug testing that I need to come back. So I'm sorry.
It's a very confusing process. Thank you for your patience.
No, yeah.
Ewan Crumley from Athletics Weekly. A question for Jakob. Congratulations. I'm just wondering what the 24 hours after your 1500 final were like for you. How long did you give yourself permission to stay angry or upset about what happened and before you moved on? And how much were you enjoying yourself tonight?
I think one of the biggest confusions is that it's something that you put behind you. I still remember many of my losses in my junior career, or even when I was very young, and also in my World Championships in Doha. And that's things that will haunt me for the rest of my life. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's important for us as athletes to perform, is because we always have that memory of losing and not accomplishing what we want. And I think it's also something that motivates us to put in the work and to do what's needed to perform. So it's a different thing to handle it, but it's always going to be something that's there. And it's as I mentioned, it's a big part of sports. I think many of the greatest athletes have defeats that will haunt them for the rest of their lives, but hopefully the reward of accomplishing things and creating memories outweighs them.
Question for Grant from NRK Norwegian Television. If you were in Jakob's shoes, would you do the 1500 5000 double or the 5000 10,000 double? And do you hope to meet him on 10,000 sometime?
Yeah, I think that'd be fun to see him in a 10K. He's had success over cross country, so it's not like that would be out of range at all. He's very public about his training, and I think it would suit very well to a 10K. If I were him, which would I do? I would probably continue the 5K. The 1500 is just such a glamour event. It's the middle distance event. The 10K is slowly getting cut away from a lot of meets. The 1500 is pure entertainment, and it's the marquee event for so many people. So he didn't medal in the 1500, but I don't think that means he should abandon the event by any means. It'd be fun to see him in a 10K. Obviously, he has great range. The double is very challenging, 1500 and 5K, 10K and 5K. They're both challenging doubles, and I have great respect for people that do either of them. So, I'd say, I think people look at the 1500 and think, you know, maybe there was a question for changing tactics. There's a question for changing events. I think that's an overreaction.
2 more questions. We have one right here.
Jack Rathborn from The Independent. It's a question for Jakob, whether you're surprised at the pace tonight and whether you expected some of your rivals to push it a little bit more, and then also to Grant and Ronald as to whether in future to move up the podium, how do you think the tactics may change and the risk reward to push the pace a little bit and test Jakob's strength more?
I think it's dangerous to go into championship races expecting anything. It all comes down to the athletes and the way they see their chances of getting the best out of themselves. And for some people that might be different from what they think themselves compared to other people. I think we were all expecting a somewhat faster race, but still it comes down to everybody's expectations of how they can perform. And some people, they just don't have the confidence to do anything, so they're just you know, racing the race as it unfolds. But some people, they make decisions that affects everybody. So it's all very different on how we see it. But I think at the end, I think we're all, 3 of us are happy with the outcome and excited for the race tonight.
Ronald, do you want to talk about tactics and tonight's tactics, and if you would have, you know, you might change anything in the future in future championship races?
Me?
Yeah, for you.
I think in my future I need to change to go to 10,000 because I'm really, maybe I need to discuss with my coach to see if I can run next year 10,000 or 5,000.
Last question.
Jakob, I wanted to ask about your tactics at the end of the race, because Ingebrigtsen made this huge move and you stayed back and you let him go for a little bit and then you moved on the last lap. So I'm wondering what was going through your mind and why do you choose to lay back initially?
I think I was fearing a disqualification if I had done something differently, because I was severely blocked on the inside, and I tried to move out, but I knew that I'm in great shape, and I was expecting a move from Ingebrigtsen around 600 to 500 to go, so it unfolded as expected, and at that point, I think it's a smart idea to get off the rail and to chase the leader, but still you have to balance the effort and not get too eager when there's a gap opening up, and kind of move your way and work your way into it. But I was not catching him for the first 150 at least when I got out of the rail. So at that point, you're starting to ask questions if I'm running too fast, if he's too strong or whatever, but it's all about saving some energy for the last 150, because in a 5K, you can ruin a lot of your chances by going too hard, which I've done many times before. So it's smart to have something in reserve, and I caught up with him and felt strong at that point, and I think he was fading, so a lot of people got through and got some good medals because of it. And that's the thing about not only the 5K, but it's all about spending your energy wisely and making good decisions.
Ronald Kwemoi, Grant Fisher, Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the podium for the men's 5,000. Thanks and congratulations.
Thank you.
We can now stop the stream.